Very rarely a movie comes along that is instantly a classic. Is so epic, it really defines a moment in a genre, in sci-fi in this case. Dune 2 is one of those moments. Welcome to SciTrek, your sci-fi TV and movie channel. The critics are going wild for Dune 2, but let's be honest, we can't trust the critics. They're let's say, useless in the nicest possible way. But in this case, they are 100% correct. Dune 2 is excellent. Frank Herbert's family have all said that this is the best version of Dune they've ever seen. And I have to admit, from somebody who loved the book, I watch this and go, okay, there's a few things that are a bit different, but it's got to be because it's a movie, not a book. But on the whole, it's a really, really excellent and respectful version of that book. I'm going to be talking to you in a minute about rumors of a third movie. But for now, let's just focus on Dune 2. For one, it's looking like it's going to take anything up to 80, maybe even $90 million in its opening weekend at the box office. That is, for any movie, really excellent. But particularly considering this is a sci-fi movie, it's a sequel, which sometimes don't do as well as the original, but we're going to talk about that in a minute as well. But, they don't do sometimes as well. But obviously, post-pandemic, an $80, $90 million opening weekend is absolutely fantastic and really what this movie deserves. Visually, as I said, this film is jaw-dropping. It genuinely, and I'm not going to put any spoilers in this video because I will report that I have seen the film. It genuinely makes you want to go, and particularly towards, there's a scene at the end of the movie. If you've read the book, you'll know what I'm on about, the sphere stuff. That at the end of the movie, genuinely, I really love special effects and CGI and things, and I've really been interested in it. I can normally spot the little tricks that filmmakers use. I don't know how they did that. It is thoroughly excellent. The acting is brilliant. That came on from the first film, really. It's just as good. This movie really delves into the darkness of some of the characters a little bit more than in the original and really starts to flesh out some of the things that were hinted. We've got some hints about the potential third movie, Dune Messiah, already in this movie. But again, I don't want to spoil it because it's good. Every so often, a film comes along that is just iconic. The first original Predator movie in 1987, Star Wars in 1977, A Space Odyssey in 1968, or Jurassic Park in 1993. These movies shaped cinema at the time. They were landmark movies that really shocked audiences, surprised audiences, something that doesn't always happen. How many times have you gone to a movie excited about it only to be disappointed? And how many times have you gone to a movie excited about it only to actually have everything on the screen you hoped for? I think the first one happens a little bit more often than the second. Honestly, this movie goes beyond my expectations, and I expected a lot. I loved the original, and I was gutted that I never got to see it at the cinema, thanks to the pandemic, and then it being immediately released on HBO. I think it was on Sky Cinema over here. I've only ever seen it on the small screen. And, even though I've got a pretty big 50 whatever inch TV with a decent soundbar and stuff, it's not the same as the cinema, particularly a movie of this grandeur. And I have to say, if you loved the original and you thought the original was grand, just wait. In this film, you've got a scene, and I don't think this is a spoiler because we see it in the adverts, where the sandworms are ridden by, the leading stars of the movie. Now, that on paper sounds ridiculous in lots of ways. In the book, it was beautifully written, so it didn't. But, that concept is a bit of an odd one. This movie does it so well that you genuinely not only believe it, but it doesn't, even enter your mind for a second that it's odd or weird. They do it so perfectly. It is just tense and dramatic and exciting. If you are enjoying the video, don't forget to like, subscribe, hit the bell notification, do all of those YouTubey things. But also go over onto patreon.com/SciTrek, where most of our new videos do actually premiere first. If you are desperate to see them before anyone else, go check it out. Now, you might say I'm getting a little bit overexcited about this. Come on, it's only a movie. But this is honestly everything they're saying about it. It is going to be one of those films and part of a trilogy that is really going to mark what cinema and particularly what sci-fi does for the next decade. Everything in this movie, the style, the effects, the way the actors are, everything is going to be inspiring filmmakers for at least a decade. And that is exciting because this film deserves to inspire those filmmakers. But what do I mean about the trilogy? Well, the director, Denis Villeneuve, I'm probably not saying that right, but I watched a video where he says his own name, and that's how he says it, ish, Denis Villeneuve. He has a vision for this, and he's always said in a couple of interviews, actually, to be fair, that he would love to make this into a trilogy. The first book, which is hefty, it's a decent-sized book, he split into two parts. He said that was the only way to do it justice. And then there was always sort of a backup plan to do the next book in the series, remembering that actually the original series was, I think, 6 books, Dune, Messiah, into a trilogy. Now, why would he do that into a trilogy? What happens in the book? Well, in the first 2, we get to see Paul Atreides. He is the young boy becoming the hero. Now, there is some darkness in the character of Paul, particularly in the second part of this story. But the third story, we see somebody completely different again. In the third story, he is the Emperor. Spoiler alert, I'm sorry, but that's what happens. And he has become basically his worst nightmare. He's become the villain. He has become so afraid of his own visions over the years. He has become empirical. He has ruled with an iron fist. And he has become the bad guy. Now, why do I mention this? Because that's the vision that the director, Denis Villeneuve, has for this trilogy, that we're going to see that cycle. The villain at the beginning, the villain at the end. The young hero going through that and succumbing to his own fears. That is an exciting story because it can speak to so many of us that actually the road to hell is paved with good intentions. Now, Dune Messiah will be one film, very different to the Dune original book. It's much, much smaller. It's like half the size. So actually, it fits quite nicely in the pacing sort of thing of the way this movie's been presented. And it will be an epic trilogy. Now, there might have to be some changes because some of the actors won't be, as old as they're presented in the book. I think there's about a 20-year gap or 25-year gap between sort of Dune and Messiah, I think. But I'm trying to remember that from my youth when I read the books, 25 years ago. But he is the Emperor. Time has gone by. They might have to rework that a little bit for if we're going to have the actors that we want in this. And I think we do because they've done such a brilliant job. We would actually get to see Jason Momoa's character again. Just saying. I'm pretty sure his character comes back. It's not really him, but anyway. Forget I said that. Shh. So yeah, I think it would be an amazing way to cap off the first 2 movies and to give us a truly epic trilogy. Because we haven't had one of those for a while. Because I honestly don't think we've seen a series of movies, a trilogy, this epic and to this scale since the Lord of the Rings trilogy. That's how good Dune 2 is. So guys, get your asses to the cinema. You do not want to see this on the small screen. You want to see this in IMAX, 4K, whatever. You want to see this on the big screen, I promise. If you are new to the channel, please like, subscribe, hit that bell notification. It really helps us out and you'll never miss any of our new videos. Also, you can go to patreon.com/SciTrek where most of our new videos do appear first and you get to see them without the adverts, you lucky bunnies. As always, please stay safe and I'll see you next time. I think I might go watch Dune 2 again.